Welcome to another episode, a live episode of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. I'm your brother, Old God, and sitting across from me today is my co-host.
What up, y'all? It's your man Sam Ant, CEO of Viral Hip Hop News. You're in the building for another edition of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. We got a special guest back in the building. None other than Mr. TJ Loftin is back on the podcast. How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man.
Oh man, I'm great. How about yourselves?
Beautiful, brother, beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Dealing with this heat, man, but all is well.
Likewise.
Shit.
Appreciate the opportunity again, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So yeah, man. I know you're a LA native, if I'm not mistaken, Compton native.
Correct.
And it's a lot of stuff going on with these ICE raids out there. Now the protests began, and it looks like the protests are turning, ugly very, very quickly. What information can you give us the dynamics over there? Because we only see what we see in the media, and it's really not affecting us over this way. We just kind of see it and we move on with our regular life. But what witness account can you give us? Obviously having people there, in the streets and in that area, and yourself being in that area as well.
Well, a lot of this is being pre-orchestrated. It's not what you think it is. First of all, it's not all over California. It's not out of control like they saying. It's just certain spots that this is happening at. Most people think it's all of LA and all of that. It's not. Right now, I think it's just downtown LA. Then they doing a little something in Compton on the other end of it, but it's not as crazy as they trying to make it seem. But yeah, that's what's going on out here. It's just they always blowing stuff up in the media.
What kind of sparked what? I mean, we know that obviously President Trump sent ICE in to grab illegal immigrants and things like that, but then we heard they were going into schools and various things and started getting kind of wild. So what was it that sparked the whole outrage and sparked the whole protest, to the best of your knowledge?
What sparked it is, do you know they hiring people on Craigslist to come protest? You see
No
what I'm
way.
saying? Yeah, you got people running plays out here. A thing that they do in LA, I'm sure they do this all over the country, but you got folks that are coming to the black community and buy commercial buildings and buy a bunch of stuff and then turn around and increase the insurance on it through the roof. And then they sit back and help to spark riots. And then they say somebody vandalized their building, burnt their building down, and then they go claim all that insurance money. And that way they can come in there and rebuild bigger and better like they really intended to do, if that makes sense. So now to support that, you'll see people saying that they got hired to come out of Craigslist. They paying all this money to go out and protest and do this and do that. Then you'll see people, stuff will be catching on fire. It was like there was no protest there. You got people sitting, there's bricks. The city has literally bought out bricks and dropped them in front of the city hall. You see what I'm saying? They dropping pallets, loads of bricks in front of key places. So in order to do that, that tells you in the next day there's a riot there. You see what I'm saying? There's a protest there and somebody throws a brick. That meant somebody knew that somebody led that to happen there, if that makes sense. So there's people guiding this type of stuff. And I always tell people, every blue moon, they set that up so that they can go in there and start filing insurance claims. You see what I'm saying? And that's one thing we always got to look at. As a real estate investor, I'm always looking at when I see stuff burned to the ground, I'm going to go pull title and see who owned that, when did they buy it, and how much insurance money they had on that building. It's like, oh, he just bought it and the building worth $500,000, but why he need $10 million worth of insurance on this raggedy abandoned building? You feel me? That's kind of plays they're running. So I believe the powers that be is behind the scenes pushing things along so they can say, oh, it was the drug dealers, the gangbangers, and you know how bad LA is. The immigrants did it. No, they just using them as pawns for the most part.
Right. But what about the other side to this where, you see, what's your thoughts on the immigration policies now, how they're coming through all cities, even where we're at? I heard they was at the Wawa up here. People in Jersey and surrounding areas know about the Wawa. They're going to farms. They're going to stores. They're running down on people trying to sweep up what they say are legal immigrants that overstayed their visa or don't have a visa at all. What's your thoughts on them? I mean, California is a hub for immigration.
Well, that's all an excuse to do what they need to do. To me, in my opinion, man, real estate in LA, I've been an investor for a long time, and I've been a business owner since like 92. You feel me? So I saw how they opened the door for the Hispanics to come in here illegally in the late 80s and the early 90s. And then all of a sudden they started replacing us as a people. You feel me? So I saw them and they opened the door for them to come in and knowing they were selling drugs. So back in the days when the immigrants was coming over here from Mexico, they had work strapped to their backs and stuff like that. You feel me? They had a backpack full of bricks. You know what I'm saying? So they came over here and started buying up. Hello?
Yeah, we here.
Okay. Yeah, they had a bunch of illegal products with them, and that's how they came over here and got set up. So they had it seemed like they had a well-oiled system. So if you look in the news, you'll see where they stopped the 18-wheeler that was loaded with money recently. And see, they seized the 18-wheeler packed in with money. To my, it was only $1.5 million in that truck. So to me, they invited them to come over here knowing what they was doing, and they made a lot of money over here, and they was using the houses over here to buy up these houses. They bought businesses with that money. They bought houses with that money. They started a whole lot of stuff. That's why if you look at it, they in downtown LA in the garment district, and they talking about they was out there doing laundering money for the cartels.
Right.
Yeah, so right. that whole immigrant thing, that's just a play. They let them come over here, they let them make a lot of money, and they let them come over here and buy up all this real estate so that we couldn't buy it, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying last time, Tesla moved into Hawthorne, California in 92, I think it was, like in the early 90s. And once he did that, that's when they knew the real estate was going to take off. But we dominated that area in the early 90s, 91, 92. These was prominently black-owned cities. Compton, LA, Watts, Gardena, Hawthorne. And then when they moved Tesla in there, and SpaceX and Solar City, all that type of stuff in there, they knew the real estate was about to take off. So they didn't want us to get it. So that's when they invited the cartels to come over there, and they started buying up all the real estate so that we couldn't get it, if that makes sense. Now, where all the houses back then was worth $125,000, $75,000 in Compton and LA. But when the cartels came in, now the real estate then went to $300,000 and $400,000. You feel me? So now real estate in Compton is $1 million for the most part. You know, you buy a beat down house that need to be torn down for $900,000 because the cartels was buying up all the real estate. They was transferring all their cash into California real estate, and they let them do it. So now they let them do it because they knew eventually they was going to come back and take it back from them, if that makes sense. If black people would have bought all the real estate in Compton and LA and all those areas, they would have never been able to get it back. But the Hispanics, they can seize it all back and say they're illegal. So this is nothing but a play to me, because they should have never let them come over here and take all our jobs and all that stuff. And they knew where this money was coming from. You got open borders and cats coming across with tractor trailer loads of illegal stuff. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's really saying nothing. It pushed the real estate prices up, dude. It pushed businesses up. Now they get to come back and seize all of that. So if you look that up, most of those raids is on cartel safe houses and stuff like that. They hitting those houses where these people own it. And you heard Trump in the news. Trump said that he's not only going after the people who are illegal in their real estate, he's going after the legal people who bought real estate for illegal people. You feel me? So that's what this is really about, in my opinion. They seizing everything back. That's all they doing.
I was going to ask you. You answered my next question. Is this a bigger play, just to kind of take over more? What's the word? To dang, it's right on the tip of my tongue. You know it. You book it. It's all. Come on, help me out.
Gentrification.
Yes, thank you. Are they basically trying to re-gentrify that property?
The gentrification. That's why I wrote this book, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, I wrote the book because I seen it. I played the long game, and I seen what was coming, because we started making the movement to buy up the real estate. Because I've started telling my people, I'm like, they relocated. They move in Silicon Valley down here. You got SpaceX and Google moving in LA. You know what I'm saying? This is all 10, 15 minutes from Compton. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I started inspiring my people. Hey, let's buy up the real estate while we can. You feel me? So next thing you know, they buying it. Next thing you know, we got Silicon Beach out here, football stadiums and all type of stuff. So that's all this is a real estate play. They could not afford for us to get the real estate, so now they're getting it. Now they use the Hispanics to buy so that they can seize it back. And now black folks cannot afford to come in there. Now that the Hispanics is gone and a lot of the properties, see, that's another thing we got to learn how to do as people. We got to stop getting emotionally attached and look for the play in this. Who's making money off of this? What's fixing to happen because of all these people being sent back to Mexico? It's a gang of real estate they acquired about to hit the market. It's a gang of businesses about to hit the market. You feel me? So who's going to buy that stuff? While we sitting around complaining to my, oh, that's wrong. We should help. We should support. That's our fight and all of this. So they helped us. I'm looking at title. I'm looking to see how many houses hit the market in the last 20 days. I'm looking to see how many commercial buildings has hit the market. I'm looking to see how many businesses have went up for sale. You feel me? Now, I don't know if y'all looking at this play they running. Have y'all seen on the internet? They said, oh, if blacks and Hispanics was to partner, we'd be powerful. Have y'all peeped that out?
Definitely saw that, yeah.
That's all a play where Hispanics ain't never needed us. Financially, they don't need us at all. You feel me? So now they want to partner with us because they know their property is being seized. And in order to maintain it, they need to try to hurry up and quickly transfer it into black people's names. And that's why you start seeing this propaganda being spread. So they supported us, we got to support them. Like, oh, blacks would be powerful. We'd be powerful if we work with the Hispanics. No disrespect to Hispanics, but when was the last time the Hispanics wanted to work with us? Now that the ICE is kicking down doors, now they want to work with us. Like, really? It's not our fight. We need to stay out the way because they're going to come in. It's just like illegal stuff. When they come in and start going after the kingpins and the drug dealers and all of that, you call people trying to help, they're going to seize their stuff too, right? So this is the same play. You start taking property from people who having problems, and next thing you know, they seize it from you. They're going to take your stuff too, hypothetically speaking.
Right. And that's deep, that you say that because, I see a lot of people on Facebook saying a lot of different, things like, oh, my people, this, that, and the third. But so you're saying it's not our fight. We shouldn't get involved in it, right? Period.
Not at all.
Because it's a play. Okay.
That's all it is. It's like, it's sad, man, in our community that I can go pay somebody to go get involved in something that ain't got nothing to do with us, or go lie and say that they're a part of this or this was them. You feel me? It's like people being used as pawns to go support somebody else's agenda. You see what I'm saying? And that's sad. The more difficult times become for people, you can just pay people to go do anything or say anything, and that ain't cool, It's like, I'm all about being culturally responsible. And it's like, are you being culturally responsible? Is that going to affect your people? Is that going to make your people look bad? Because you can pay people a couple of dollars, they go in there and say anything you want them to say in front of the wrong people or in front of the camera, And that's what's going on now. So people need to, now these people, they go to our community leaders and pay them off. And next thing you know, the community leader go stand in front of the camera and tell everybody, y'all all come out, we need to do this. But these cats is being paid off.
Right. Now, what about, I hear people say this a lot. The immigrants are here. They're doing jobs that none of us want to do. We need them here. What do you say to that?
That's some BS. I want some of them construction contracts. You notice how they saying the real estate has came to a halt. Nobody's building houses and all that type of stuff, right? Because the construction workers have been ran off of the construction sites. Man, these houses cost so much money, these commercial buildings. California is the most expensive real estate in America. Your average house being built is over $1 million. Anything new anywhere in Southern California in LA County is starting at $1 million. You see what I'm saying? You buying condos, they buying townhouses in Compton for $1.4 million. You see what I'm saying? So Hispanics dominate those industries. You can't even go on a construction site. If there are a bunch of Hispanics on a construction site, they don't hire black people. They will, if there is a black person there, the Hispanics collaborate and work together to get the black person fired. You see what I'm saying? They getting all the contracts to build commercial buildings. Building costs $100 million. It's a possibility that it's a Hispanic contractor coming in and he's gonna bid on that contract and may win, because the Hispanics got a well. It's like kind of like, to me, it's like they took classes before they came over here, and they taught them how to run the plays to get their people in there. You feel me? This is how when we get hired, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna push blacks out once we get there. And once we get rid of the blacks, we're gonna always open the door to call up another Hispanic. Now they gotten so much power that they dominating all the big contracts. So there is no such thing as jobs that black people don't want. They got the jobs that black people used to have. You feel me? Shit, we want the jobs, we want the contracts. They ain't picking oranges in LA, y'all. Ain't no oranges and bananas being picked in LA. So we ain't got them problems. That ain't us. We got construction problems. We got Caltrans. They building freeways. You go to a freeway being built, Hispanics and white people. You go to a high-rise building being built, Hispanics and white people. You go to the city workers, Hispanics and white people. Black people make up a 0.2% of the jobs. You see what I'm saying? All of them are real living wage jobs. None of this stuff is McDonald's and Burger King. This is living wage stuff I'm talking about.
So do you think that with the whatever's going on, them buying back their real estate, whatever the case may be, them getting immigrants out of here, does that effectively help us as a culture get those jobs and regain those opportunities to buy back the land if they allow us to, or more so get those jobs that weren't readily available for us 10, 20 years prior?
Absolutely. If they can get rid of all the Hispanics, all the immigrants, no disrespect to the immigrants, because it's just all about the money. It's all about the money, no matter what we say. It ain't about the immigrants. It ain't about that. It's about the money. If they get rid of the immigrants, the blacks are going to be forced. They're going to be forced to hire black people, and they're going to have to be forced to raise the wages to where the Hispanics came in. They got 12 people living in one house, all working age men and women, and now they can split the rent $100 a piece, hypothetically speaking. Now they can come bid in on the quote and do this job cheaper, to where me and you, we paying $1,800 a month. You see what I'm saying? So we got to get real money to work here. So yeah, they want us out, and that's what this is. If they leave, black people benefit. But let me tell y'all what's really going on in my mind. This is the real play. That's another big play that's happening. You familiar with the corporate landlords? So the landlords, we're in a battle in America. The corporations have realized AI is taking all the jobs. And they're like, okay, the money is changing, the wealth is changing. So the corporations saying, we just gonna buy up all the real estate and rent all the houses back. We're gonna remove home ownership. So now you got corporations coming in to all these areas that's booming, and they'll find a person like me, TJ, the developer, and say, hey man, how many houses you about to build? I'll say, oh, I'm about to build 150 houses, and I'm gonna sell them for about 700,000 and up. They'll come in and say, we're going to write you a check for all 150 houses right now. And we're going to rent them all out. You feel me? So now they're converting America into a rental country. So you got places like Florida, Governor DeSantis, they don't want renters in Florida. They don't want renters in these places. So the only way but you can't fight a multi-trillion-dollar titan. You feel me? But you know how you fight a trillion-dollar titan? You pass laws and you get rid of his labor. You see what I'm saying? That's how you're going to fight them, because people don't realize it's not about the homeowners. Oh, we need to build more houses for the homeowners. The corporations is buying up all the real estate. So if we can get rid of the labor, that'll stop those corporate titans from buying up everything and building all these rental properties. You see what I'm saying? So people like Trump builds houses and rents them and sells them. You know what I'm saying? All these people want to build and sell. They don't want to. Your neighborhood becomes undervalued when you got a neighborhood full of renters. So these corporate, they trying to get rid of. This is a low key way to get rid of the corporate titans, the corporate landlords. That's a bigger play than what they really trying to do. Also, they
so this
stop. Go ahead.
Right.
Sorry.
So this is like this is obviously not just in Los Angeles. This is across the United States because they're picking up people everywhere.
Dude, this is a global situation. Real estate globally, all around America. Man, I travel a lot. I've been all over the place. So I was in one of my partners, a guy in Bahamas building houses. You know what I'm saying? They building islands in the Bahamas to build houses. You feel me? In retirement places, because you know the baby boomers are retiring, right? I don't know if y'all familiar. The baby boomers are retiring, and this is the last people that got houses for the most part. These are the people that bought their houses in the 70s for like $12,000 and $5,500 and $20,000 for the nice ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
now those $12,000 houses is worth $700,000 now. So those people are all retiring and they're selling their houses. So this is the last of the real money. You see what I'm saying? This is the last of the real money where people can say, I got $1 million in equity in my house, and I'm about to sell it and move to Ghana. I'm about to sell it and move to South Africa. I'm about to sell it and move to the Bahamas. I'm about to sell it and move to Atlanta and pay cash for a brand new house. So this is going on, and this is the last people that can do that. So everybody's fighting for that last money. So they're building houses all over the world, Americanized, Californianized houses in communities all over the world to accommodate these baby boomers, because these are the last people with the real money. Everybody from now on that renting a house, like most of our college graduates, they don't know nothing. They say don't own nothing but control everything. See, that's a twist, because you don't own nothing, but you control it. So you're a renter, basically, what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you don't own it, you're just a renter. And if you're a renter, I can always push you out or raise your prices. Yeah. So anyway, this is a global play right here.
Right. So what should Black African American what should we be doing right now? If we, what's the next move for us, globally, in your opinion?
If we need to be buying land and learning how to build our own houses and put our kids back into the trades, because the new wealthy are the people who's building the houses. Right. People know how to come in there and do HVAC, you're going to be a millionaire. You know how to do plumbing, you're going to be a millionaire. You know how to do AC right now, AC go out right now, you the man.
Yeah.
We need to learn how to build houses, dude, because that can employ our whole family. We need real estate attorneys. We need appraisers. We need arborists. We need framers. We need roofers. We need masons, everything to build a house, dude. And that will maintain our whole community. And we need people to maintain basically the things that we use, cars and houses. We need people, put our people in those spaces, and we'll be cool. Just like you'll hear the Jewish community or the African community, they say doctor, lawyer, or engineer, or get out my house, right? Yes, we need to say land development, movies, or automotive, or get out my house. You feel me? That's what the Black people need to be doing.
Let me ask you this, because you're in the automotive game. What would you say the percentages, and from your vantage point, of the young youth of Black males and females interested to get into mechanics, get into these different types of trades where money will always be available? What's how excited or how interested do you see the youth in doing these type of jobs?
Well, it's a very low number, but it's increased more than it has been. But we got more people now. Once explained to the youth the financial benefits of it, you don't have no student loans. You immediately can come to work after high school. They're getting on board. You see what I'm saying? Right. Just like now, I recently heard that the colleges are fixing to start. They passing a law where they're fixing to start going after student loans, student debt. They finna start going after those people. So you got to pay that money back, or we're gonna seize it from your paycheck. But the numbers, because of stuff like that, is helping to grow our numbers. So we got a lot of sisters getting into the automotive space now. You can Google it. I saw a white lady literally on social media saying that she was a dentist. No, she was a nurse, and now she's a automotive. She got an auto shop now. I'm like, boy, I tell you, it's becoming more and more. That's once we get
definitely.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, brother. No, go.
Once we get rid of these gatekeepers, you're going to see more people doing that. You're going to see more young people not going to 4 years. You're going to see them getting a HVAC class. You're going to see them learning how to rebuild transmissions and learning how to become a mechanic. And they go work for Mercedes or Bentley or something. You're going to start seeing that becoming more and more popular.
Yeah, I remember my dad used to tell me, he said, you either get a trade or you've been cleaning toilets, cleaning shit for the rest of your life. I ain't never really listened, but I get what he was saying now. You got to get some type of workable trade where you're always in demand. If you're a mechanic, you can start your own business, or you always got a job. If you could build houses, if you're a plumber, you always got something you can fall back on. You know, but in my opinion, you got to be, skilled with some of that stuff too. They got to be there for you.
Yeah, you got to have a skill.
Right.
You got to have a skill. Skills are pathways to entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship is pathways to wealth. Meaning, if you're an entrepreneur, just like me, I came in and became a car guy, and I started realizing there's a lot of car parts that's not being made in my classic car industry, or they're discontinuing a lot of these old parts. So I turn around and I start making parts. Now I got parts that I'm able to make 6 and 7 figures a year off of one part. You see what I'm saying? Now I got 20 parts, for example. So I know people, man, that became billionaires off of making a screw. There's people that become billionaires off of making an app for something. You feel me? Introducing something to a space that wasn't there before, and now that's a $1 billion industry. You know what I'm saying? And that comes from it's more people that come from the trades that own patents than it is that got graduated from college by a long shot. You feel me? Because people who go to college 90 times out of 10, they're going to get a job pushing some type of buttons or something. People who got a trade 9 times out of 10, they're going to run into problems building a house, run into a problem trying to repair a car, and they're going to come up with a better idea and say, let me improve this. Let me design something. Let me create something. Let me take something from over here and bring it over here, and I can license this idea out to Procter and Gamble or Facebook or something, or Mercedes or Bentley or John Deere tractors. You feel me? Or the people, like they saying John Deere is threatening to leave. They about to leave America. Shit, if I worked there as a repair mechanic for the last 20 years, I know everything about that tractor, right? Because we've been building it for 20 years. Now we all may come together and say, let's open up our own tractor company, and we're going to take John Deere's place. See what I'm saying? And that's how people become multi-billionaires, trillionaires.
Absolutely. Yeah. My final question, man. We'll have brother TJ Loftin on every other week. Hopefully on Thursday. So definitely I'll let him leave his information where you can find him. Before we get out of here, how do you see these tariffs that are in place? These Chinese tariffs, because a lot of the stuff, most of the stuff, if not all the stuff, that we consume, that we drive, that our clothes, all that stuff comes from China. How is that going to affect, in particular, Black businesses? With these tariffs and, doing business still over there?
Well, in order to rebuild, we got to get rid of the old. You got to out with the old, in with the new. So, yeah, for a while, we're going to pay higher prices on eggs. We're going to pay higher prices for our ink pens and our car parts. Stuff is going to be on back order. But it's going to open the door for us to say, hey, there's an opportunity for us to manufacture that ourselves. You see what I'm saying? They discontinue making this because we can't get it from China no more. Let's make it ourselves. So there's a lot of opportunities going to come up. You know what I'm saying? So you may hear, it's some Black people out here became billionaires because they designed a chip. You see, there's some Black people that became multi-billionaires because they just started making windows and got a big contract with a $1 billion car company, Nissan. They make all the glass for Tesla or Mercedes or something. So I'm excited about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about what's happening today. I'm thinking about the long-term benefits of people who saying, if I can't get this, I'm going to just make it myself.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I'm saying? It's like hydraulics and low riding. It was hard to get car parts. It was hard to get your car put hydraulics on. So I said, I'm going to do it myself. And the next thing you know, hey, here we are now. Globally known, shipping cars around the world. You know what I'm saying? Biggest African-American lowrider in history, making movies and stuff about that industry, And that's what we need. I see more of us owning stuff. And it's inspiring for the youth to say, I know TJ, I know Sam Ant, I know the hip hop podcast brothers. You know what I'm saying? I know them. They gave me my first job. You feel me? Now they helping me start my own business, doing my own thing. And that's what we need more of. And this is opening the door for that. When one door closes, the next door opens, right?
Absolutely.
For sure. For sure.
You got to make sure we there to open it, be in the door when it opens, and not let other people, So yeah, the immigrants leaving, that's actually helping us. But the question is, are we in position to do that? You feel me?
Right, for sure.
Yep, definitely. Yeah. So but definitely appreciate brother TJ Loftin on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. Please let everybody know where they can contact you. Also, where they can get your wonderful book, man. You gave us a free copy, at Dr. Boyce Walker's events a few years ago. So talk a little bit about that and where they can find you and your book.
They can get my book. This is called Monetizing Gentrification, but most importantly, Building Black Ownership. For us that want to start businesses and benefit off of all this construction going on, they can go to my website at gentrification.com. Again, gentrification.com, or all my social media is Thomas TJ Loftin. The YouTube page, follow, click like, subscribe, and share it, as well as TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can find me at all those spots. If you're interested in booking me to come out to your next event and speak, or come to your school, same thing. Thomas TJ Loftin, Loftin. Go to my website and order a copy of the book. Also, tjloftin.com, my website. Order yourself a copy and get a few copies.
Yeah.
Like I'm shipping them out now.
Definitely. Now we'll drop that link right there at the top line of the description box. So people that's watching us later on, could definitely go check the brother's work. He'll be back though. He'll definitely be back. We're gonna be covering topics like this and other different topics, man. But definitely appreciate y'all this evening on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. That's your brother Sam Ant, Viral Hip Hop News. I'm Old God. Together we make the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. Over and out. You have a good night.
Peace.
Good, fam.